Long story short, because, he was saying to me, he said, there's an old saying in financial services, if you're early, you're perceived as being wrong, right? And so it was a very interesting conversation. He was just defending because he said, this is coming. Anyway, long story short, he was talking to the client, the primary client afterward on the phone, and he just happened to mention, hey, I'm sorry I got so far into the technical and the jargon there. I noticed that your wife was somewhat disconnected from the conversation. And the client said to him, it's all good, but she just doesn't really care too much about the nuts and bolts. And she also doesn't want to seem dumb because she doesn't know really what you're talking about. So don't worry, like it's all good. But that for him was, oh my gosh. And my response to him was and correct me if I'm wrong, but I said to him, I said, one of the best things you can do to engage the couple. I'm not trivializing the technical and the core competency, but talk about what financial independence does. Talk about what matters to the client and really focus on goals. And I said, Linda, use form, like literally write the acronym form on the agenda in front of the clients, populated family, occupation, recreation, and money, and ask both of them to share their aspirations about the next 5 to 10 years. And I've seen many examples and heard of many examples where an advisor, you can see the body language of both clients. They lean in, they engage. It's not like just open-endedly saying, hey, what's important to you and what are your goals? It's actually an exercise that makes it easy for them to populate and open up. And so anyway, I'd love your input on being a goals-based advisor with that aspect of the process to engage both people in where this is all going.
Okay. Well, two pieces. We met with a team who currently runs, are you sitting down, over $100 billion. One team. They, one of the big takeaways that I learned from them, because after our training, they ran the spreadsheet of all their clients and sat down with the partners and asked the partners to examine their relationship with her. And what we learned through this discussion is, and this is a really good thing to remember, do not confuse attendance with connection.
Mm-hmm.
We have been with enough women to know they are completely intimidated to be themselves. We met a woman who literally never knew what her advisor was talking about. She thought an equity was her home line of credit because she had a home equity line of credit. She literally never understood and did not have, sadly, the competence to say, wait a minute, I lost. And we know from the 70% stat, women will not confront him with their dissatisfaction. And once he's gone and that connection is gone, she'd leave because they did not bring her in a way she is comfortable. So we like to say, make the meetings meaningful to her. So, what might be most important to her is they need long-term care insurance. If I'm paying 20 grand for my dad, and I'm paying my, 10 grand for my brother, and like, who's going to take care of me? And maybe that, like, her number one thing. So, yes, people, we need to bring her in a way she's comfortable. So we just worked with the team, and it's so interesting because after the training now, they have a process. So when they're in a meeting in their conference room and they see she checking out, just like you described, they have agreed as a team in the meeting to say, hey, Susie, I'm noticing you might not be fall. Would you like us to break it down now? Do you want me to call you later? Can I set up a separate meeting with you tomorrow? They literally had a strategy to make sure that her buy-in, her comfort level is addressed and how she wants it to be. That's the game changer.